former pro athlete, and his powerhouse wife. This show dives deep into what happens when the spotlight fades, the crowd goes silent, and the real work begins. It's not just about football, it's about faith, identity, marriage, mental health, family, and learning how to grow through what you go through. From championship dreams to personal heartbreak, Jarius and Candace don't just talk about it, they've lived it. So if you're navigating a new season, wrestling with purpose, or just trying to hold it all together, you're in the right place. Let's get real. Let's heal. This is From the Game to Grace.
Welcome to From the Game to Grace. If this is your first time listening in, we welcome you. We thank you for listening in. I am your co-host, Candace Hayes.
I'm Jarius Hayes.
And this is what we do. We help couples navigate life's toughest transitions without losing themselves or each other. So we just kind of want to, tell you what we do, what we're about. And this particular episode we're going to talk about us being married for 30 years, of course, and navigating all the things that we've been through in our marriage, the good times, the bad times, and how sometimes how to avoid hard situations and how to navigate together without doing it alone, because sometimes that can happen. But that's our whole objective for this particular episode, is to help you transition from those things that may be hard or difficult. And so we'll just go there. And Jarius, if you want to kind of start us off with your opening, the opening of how when we came over here, how we were just kind of talking about different seasons that we went through, and what helped us, and how we can help others out there.
We was talking about some things on the way over here, and in marriage you have a lot of good times, you have a lot of bad times as well. And the good times, that's easy to get through,
Right.
But the tough times, the crisis, the challenges, and to get through those times, first and foremost, it was for us, it was our relationship with God. It was our relationship with Jesus Christ that got us through a lot of those things, because Nehemiah 8:10 says the joy of the Lord is your strength. And so it was the inner joy that came from our relationship with Jesus Christ that helped us through those external difficulties. External difficulties like financial difficulties, parenting difficulties, just the everyday issues that you deal with in a marriage. It was that inner joy that even though we were going through some tough times, and seemed like it was a tough time after tough time after tough time after tough time.
Yeah.
Even though we was experiencing those things, we still had our inward joy because of our relationship with Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. And so, first and foremost, that was the main thing that helped us through a lot of the tough situations, we dealt with in our marriage. Because I truly believe without that, your focus is on what you're going through. Your focus is on how you feel. And a lot of times when you tend to focus on what you're going through and how you feel, it now takes away the fact that, you're not hoping for a better day. Mm-hmm. When you tend to focus on the tough time or the tough issues, it takes away the focus that, a better day is coming. And so it was through our relationship with God that got us through, because we never lost our inward joy, even though we was experiencing external difficulties.
Right. That's good. So these are the particular talking points that we'll talk about. The first one is crisis in a crisis. Now, listen, let's go ahead and, face that every couple, every married couple, you're going to go through some crisis. It's
Right.
going to happen. You're just not, no marriage is a fairy tale. No marriage is perfect. So just know that you're going to have some type of crisis. If it's a financial crisis, if it's a health crisis, if it's a career crisis, and those things are all transitions. Like you transition from a career, you transition from overcoming some type of health issue. Just all of those are, those are crises, and those are, transitions. So just know that those things are coming. The thing is, we talked about that. We talked about, I remember you saying when they come, don't focus on the solution.
No, don't focus on
the crisis.
Yeah.
On the crisis, but come up with a solution, and to get over that, to navigate it together.
Right.
So, because it will take an emotional strain on you,
Right.
If you do.
And that's hard for some people, because like when you going through, it don't feel good at all.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes it's like you because you're in it, you can't see
Right.
outside of it. So like when you're in it, like you're in it, and it just, everything is just, yeah.
And that's why it's important to have trusted people that you can go to and talk to. Like, I need more than for somebody to tell me it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay. Just pray about it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need some strength. I need some. You got to give me something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but when you're going through it and you're in the middle of a issue, it don't feel good at all.
Yeah.
It don't.
And listen, we're not saying that your emotions are not valid, because you're gonna feel it, because we're human.
Right.
And we're gonna feel those emotions. Those emotions are valid, but you can't allow the emotions to dictate on the decisions that you really need to make as a couple.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's kind of talk about that. Let's talk about how not ignoring your feelings. Don't, because we all have feelings, but drive those decisions and navigate those things together.
Right.
So, yeah. And then the next one is heart seasons. Heart seasons don't mean that you have a bad marriage. It's just things happen. Like they say, like the saying says, life just be life, and it does. And
I was just thinking about this. I said, I think a lot of couples, and I'm gonna say this, and I may be, it may be true, it may be not true, but I think a lot of couples that didn't stay together, as they get older and they look back on some of the things that may have caused the disconnection, I truly believe they'll look back on it and say, you know what, we could have made it through that.
mm-hmm.
And I don't want another couple to ever say that. And that's why we're on here right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things at the moment, it seems like it's the worst thing ever.
Ever, yeah.
It's the worst thing that could ever happen to our marriage. And it's just, I'm just done with it. And that's the deception of it all, to where when hard times hit, it seems like it's so bad that, the only solution is to
just walk away.
Walk away.
Yeah.
But at the same time, through those storms and through those hard times, that's when a couple should unite and become as one and persevere and make it through.
And it's really a season. It's not a sentence.
Right. Yeah.
It's a season. It's not a sentence.
Even though at the time
it feels like a sentence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and especially because you gotta understand, especially for younger couples, to where how you spent most of your life by yourself
anyway,
and now you married
to somebody, and
now let's say
let's
say you only been in the marriage maybe 1 or 2 years, and it's like
it's a little still difficult.
It's like, man, this is.
When
I was single, I was free,
right?
And I ain't had to think about. I ain't had to deal with all this stuff.
With all that, yeah.
And it can be discouraging, because your mind, I'm like, man, I just want to be free. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, and you only been married 1 or 2 years, and then an issue rise, and you just like, man, I don't want to have to deal with this.
Right. Then they be thinking, oh, it's other options out there,
and it's really not that bad. But I'm not saying that some issues that couples run into are those serious issues where you got to leave.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Right. Yeah.
Because only the people that's in the marriage know that. I'm not saying that. But I am saying some things ain't as bad as we make them out to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some things you can overcome. Some things, like I say, are real, they deal breakers, and it's like, okay, I can't stay in no marriage like this. I understand that. But some things are not that bad. You just have to just persevere and get through it. And that's what we're trying to encourage you guys today.
Yeah. Navigating together actually looks more practical than, walking away, from it. Yeah. And then here's one that you really will need, and that's communication and not assuming.
That's true. Communication is big. Yeah. And a lot of times as men, we just take stuff and don't really express ourselves. We just kind of take stuff. And you have to realize your spouse really don't know how you feel
unless you
tell her how you feel.
Yeah.
Because
I could be thinking, you okay, and you over there like quiet and not saying nothing. I'm just thinking you just chilling.
Yeah, and on the inside,
I'm
I'm just raging mad.
Yeah.
And you don't even know.
Right. Yeah. And that can be.
I could be raging mad, or I could be really sad and depressed, or I could be that close to snapping.
Yeah.
But you have no clue.
Mm-hmm. And that's unhealthy.
Because I haven't communicated what I'm feeling, why I'm feeling this way, and what got me feeling this way. You know what I'm saying? What I'm feeling, why I'm feeling the way I am, and what was it that got me like this? And so,
and then you won't know until until it's all come to, the pipes burst and it comes to an explosion, and then you'd be like, well, you ain't saying nothing, how was I supposed to know?
Right.
You sitting there, and then it comes a hollering match.
Well, you ain't asked.
Right, yeah. And then that going back and forth.
You ain't asked.
Right, yeah. Well, how was I supposed to know? I can't read your mind,
And then that's a whole nother
fight.
A whole nother back and forth.
Yeah.
Because you're already going through.
Right.
So you don't need to get the arguing on top
of what's already
happening.
Yeah.
We laughing, but
Yeah.
it's not a laughing matter when you in the middle of it.
In the middle of it, yeah.
It ain't no laughing matter at all. Believe me, I know.
Yeah. And then too, after 30 years, we're still learning each other. It's always a learning. Something is always, new. Something is always learning. Because if you're not, then something really is, wrong.
And another thing, man, you got to realize, man, like when we first got married, let's say, I say this, 5 years into the marriage, I'm not going to be the same as I was 1 year into the marriage. 10 years into the marriage, I may not be the same person that I was 5 years into the marriage. And now 30 years into the marriage, I may not be the same person that I was 20 years into the marriage. And so people are always changing. And so, okay, well, he used to didn't do this 5-10 years ago. Now he doing this. Well, when he started doing that, or when she started doing that, and over the years, people change.
Yeah.
And you got to change with the change.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So the person I am 30 years into the marriage, I wasn't this person in 1996 when we got married.
And then if you're still doing the same thing from what you were doing, if you're in the same place you were last year ago, then it's no, nothing has changed. Then something is wrong. You're stagnant, and you don't want to be stagnant in anything. You don't want to be stagnant on your job. You don't want to be stagnant in your relationship. You don't want to be stagnant in your marriage. You want to grow and you want to keep growing.
And stagnation is like, I mean, it'll like, you'll be in a place and then 10 years will pass and you still in the same place.
Yeah.
And it's like, so much time has passed and I'm still here.
Yeah.
And you be like, whoa, I can't believe I've stayed in this place this long. I've stayed stagnant this long. I've stayed mad this long.
Yeah. And sometimes you mad and you didn't forgot what you mad about.
I mean, it's 5 years later, you still mad about something. And nobody knows what you mad about.
Yeah. And that's not healthy. I know that.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And then the next one is pretending you're okay when you're not. And just and it's just to save face and putting on that perfect couple mask at church, at family gatherings, on social media, and then you at home, you fighting like cats and dogs,
how people ask you, how you doing? I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Right. That's a facade.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. Man.
That facade is killing marriages.
Y'all fight like cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, we good. We blessed. Things are going good.
Yeah. And you can't fix what you can't acknowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's being honest. Being honest will help so much.
Yeah. But you gotta have, I don't know whether it's friends or family members, but you gotta have somebody in your life outside of your spouse that you can go to and be like, look here, man, this is what I'm dealing with.
And not just anybody.
Not just anybody.
Just somebody that you can trust that's not going to be going out telling your business.
Yeah.
You know.
And I thought you got to have somebody to where you got to have somebody that's not in the situation
Yeah.
where you can just be real too,
Right.
and they won't judge you. They won't condemn you.
Yeah.
But they will hold you accountable. Though.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lot of people don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a pastor, whether it's a close family member,
a mentor, yeah.
You got to have somebody that you can go to that they ain't gonna judge you.
They're not gonna judge you.
They ain't gonna make you feel condemned.
Right.
But they gonna hold you accountable though. And that's a lot of people don't have that. They just try to fight a battle themselves.
Yeah.
And it's too heavy. It's a burden that's too heavy.
Yeah.
And you wonder why people snap, have nervous breakdowns, mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you can't carry that load by yourself.
And then because we just don't want you thinking that we're just on here just talking. We've lived through some of this stuff. And then I'll just say one of the things that we lived through when we went through our crisis with our youngest son, with his mental health crisis. And it was like 7 years. It was just like we were silent. We were quiet.
Yeah, we really didn't.
Yeah, we really didn't voice it to anybody.
And that wasn't.
It wasn't healthy.
No,
it wasn't healthy for us. It wasn't. It wasn't healthy at all. And for us, it was something that we've never had to deal with.
Yeah,
we didn't have.
And so we didn't
have a blueprint for it.
We didn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So we just dealt with it the best way we could.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people
feel that way.
A lot of people do that in a lot of their situations where, when they look back on some of the things they went through, they're like, well, I was just doing
the best I could.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't know what to do. I was just, you know what I'm saying? And so, and I don't want them to feel condemned because, like us, we were just doing the best we could.
Right.
Like they say, if you know better, you do better.
Do better, right? Yeah.
But we didn't know any better, so we just kind of tried to carry that load. Then it got to a point to where
carry it. Yeah. It got too much.
We can't.
It got too much. It got too much emotionally. It got too much physically, mentally, everything. It just got too much.
Right.
And and then you don't want to get to a point where it's too much, where it's just like, find those resources out there. Speak up, ask, and and for us that we were vulnerable, because especially with our culture and how the word you talk about mental illness, you talk about that, it's just like,
right.
And our culture needs to be a lot more educated.
True.
With that, and it's not always the elevator not going all the way to the top. It's the brain, the chemical imbalance, and it's all other things that goes on with the organ. A brain is an organ. Yeah.
So it's just
and this is the thing, we want to be so authentic with you guys that and we want you to feel like it's a safe place for you to watch us and maybe even kind of tell us how you feel like after this, make a comment or two, but we're going to be open, we're going to be honest,
right.
because that's just who we are. So and this is just going to pull us up to what we're talking about now. asking for help is not, and that this is the next point. Asking for help is not a weakness. It's actually smart, because you can ask for help for counseling, therapy, mentorship, trusted friends, somebody that's professional support, for you. And we always talk about this. We grew up in a generation that said, handle your business, don't air out your dirty laundry, figure it out for yourself. But sometimes you need help, and don't be afraid to ask for help. And I'm not even saying in monetary. I'm just talking about, like, these things are what we're talking about. And especially if you truly want to, want your marriage to grow, want your marriage to be strong, find the help that you need.
Right.
You don't want to be, that isolation. Remember we talked about that. Yeah. Because you can be isolated when you're not asking, for help. You can get into this depressed state where you're just isolated and really don't know, who to talk to. And that's a hard place, a challenging place to be in, because I was in that place as a mother. I was like, I just felt like when I do get out of this, I'm going to make sure that other women don't feel the way that I felt, won't have to go through what I went through. So, and that's just me just being honest and open. And that's why I wrote the hope journal, through my journaling. It was kind of got me some of those tough parts, some of those tough challenges, that I had as a mother. So, and only a mother would understand what I'm saying right now. But, just let's talk about the wisdom of it all, and then we'll just kind of close it out. The wisdom of, all of this collectively, with all the different points that we've had, and the wisdom to kind of, making sure that you're going in the right direction.
What was your question?
The wisdom, if you could give them, a wisdom piece from this.
For what we've been talking about?
Yeah, the different points, yeah.
One of the things about marriage is one of the big things to me is being unselfish. And that's thinking about not just yourself, but somebody else. And in this case, your spouse. And because I truly believe if she thinks about me and I think about her, and we're not just thinking about what we personally need, so I need this or I need that. I said, okay, well, let me take a look at what she might need me to do in this situation, or let me look at what I can do for her in this situation. Or when both of us are looking after each other more, and not just ourselves, but after each other, a lot of the issues that arise, it can be handled without it being an issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of issues arise simply because, had I maybe been more attentive, I probably could have caught some things that maybe she missed. You know what I'm saying? And you probably could have caught some things that I missed. Mm-hmm. And we could have, like they say, headed off some things that came our way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but you can't do that if you're not focusing on somebody other than yourself. because especially with your young couples, like you've been on your own, so it's all about, okay, I got this, I got to do this. I'm focused on what I got going on. Now you married, not only do you have to focus on what you got going on, you got to focus on what your spouse got going on.
Right.
And how can I help them, build them up, encourage them, empower them. But you can't do that if you're just looking at you.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's golden.
that's all I got.
Yeah. All right. So if this episode has helped you, do us a favor, share it with a couple who needs to hear it. And because we want you to know you're not alone on this journey, alone by yourself. And like we always say at the end of our episode, make sure that you're extending grace to someone that needs it. And that's all we have for you today. And we are out of here. Peace out.